She's a bad man. She's a bad man.
Bang.
She's a bad man. Just as bad as she can be. She's a
It's the originals again. We're back for another episode. It's Jessica, aka J Renee.
Your girl Coco, AB.
Dr. Edwards.
Oh, it's Lou, Dr. Edwards, as you say.
And we have Rose. Introduce yourself, Rose.
Oh, I'm
Who are you
Rose.
to
I'm
the
one of the
originals?
wives of the originals.
Okay. So she, like she said, she's one of the wives to the originals. He was on our last, well, y'all gonna see the episode. He was on our last episode.
Mm-hmm.
And today we are talking about emotional intelligence. So I would like to start off by first just explaining what the definition is on emotional intelligence. So I have it right here. So the definition is the ability to understand and manage your own emotions and to recognize and understand and influence the emotions of others. Did y'all know that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. And the 5 core components is self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills. So my question to start us off is how can you describe your emotional intelligence in one word? Let's start off with you, Mom.
I'm highly emotionally intelligent.
And what and unpack that in what way?
Because I realized that the only way that I could be the best version of me was to learn how to be emotionally intelligent. The beautiful thing about emotional intelligence is you can learn how to do it better.
Mm-hmm.
It's not something you have to be born with.
Right.
So yes, I've taken classes. Yes, I've taken workshops. And yes, I've actually read books because being emotionally intelligent sets you up for success in every area of your life, believe it or not.
I agree.
Okay. Rose, one word, and unpack it.
I would say evolving because it's continuous, right? It's something you continue to grow in different aspects of your life, from personal to your career, right? So it's something that's continuously evolving.
Like that. Bianca.
Ooh, patience.
I like that.
Because it's not only having that intelligence in an intimate relationship, but in friendships, with family, being a mother, a single mother. So patience.
The mine's at this point is understanding. No, I'm not even gonna say that. I'm gonna say relate. Cause I'm trying to go on other people's level at times because I don't understand people. So, and that comes with emotional intelligence, right? Sometimes you don't always have to understand another person to have empathy for that person. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm just trying to empathize with people. Yeah. So that's why I like the evolving one.
Mm-hmm.
So back to emotional intelligence. What do some relationships fail despite of strong feelings? So what relationships did you have, Rose, or in your past that because they, or you lack emotional intelligence that failed?
I think that when you recognize what your emotions are and why you're having them, and then recognize that someone else is not doing that, then that like my previous relationship, I think that is what actually made me exit left, right? Because I recognized how I was feeling, why I was feeling that way, and like knowing that I deserved better and understanding that that person wasn't mature enough intellectually and emotionally, right? To actually understand, even if I explained how I was feeling and why I was feeling that way, to understand like your actions and your words are not matching. So this is a waste of my time. So I'm going to
Mhm.
exit that way. And that's why yeah, I think that when you do mature and have emotional intelligence, it allows you to recognize your situation and if you want to continue with it and or exit.
Hmm, that's a
I
good
agree.
point. I
What
like
about you,
that.
Mom?
Um, emo it to me, emotional intelligence, when I look at any relationship I struggle with, it bleeds into it. Because being emotionally intelligent makes you respect yourself more. And you'll stop accepting less than you deserve in any relationship. So for me, it transcends just a romantic relationship. It's in every relationship. Before I learned about emotional intelligence, I was a people pleaser. I wanted to please people. But the more emotionally intelligent I became, it helped me to identify my self-worth. And and pleasing others was not important to me. Being my authentic self became more. So for me, being emotionally intelligent went through every area of my life and it taught me to value me. So that's why I am such a proponent of emotional intelligence.
Okay, that's good. What about you, Beyond? You got anything to add?
Um, Pretty much piggyback off what Rose said. I realize now I can't deal with nobody who's we all probably lack emotional intelligence in some areas, but when you lack them in all areas, the last person I was dealing with, oh Jesus, I gotta go. I gotta go.
Yeah.
So especially when the mental health come into play. Yeah.
And I think that brings us to like self-awareness, right?
Mm.
Um, some people are not aware of that they have mental issues.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so have y'all ever encountered that and how did you help them?
Sometimes you can't help people. I
Okay.
that same thing. Last relationship I tried, he doesn't want to address that there's something going on mentally. He thinks he's okay, and he's fighting his demons. But you're not okay. You're not okay at all, and you need some help.
Well, I just want to bring up gaslighting and
Hmm.
self-awareness,
Mm-hmm.
because some people are manipulators, but they're not even self-aware enough to know that they are manipulative in everything they do. And I'm going to go on the other side of that, because um, my daughter has says I can be manipulative, but it's not. It's just that I am very self-aware, so I know how to rephrase things to try to get a better understanding.
I
But
agree.
this is how you can tell the difference between them. Manipulation is always about that person getting what they want.
Mm,
Being self-aware and reframing things is all about us winning, not me winning. It's about, I want you to win too. So to me, when we start talking about that, the first thing that comes to my mind is gaslighting and narcissistic tendencies, because you can have a narcissistic tendency but not be narcissistic. So all of that is comes in with self-awareness.
Right.
And I think that with like Lulu said earlier about being a people pleaser, Like when you're younger and you don't know, you want to please people, and when you recognize like your worth and or like how can we both win, or can I win in this situation, that allows you to start to be more self-aware, like what is the outcome or the result that I want in this situation, and how am I going to get there, like what being very solutions oriented, so being aware about those things and how to navigate from that perspective.
I love
Yeah.
that, Rose. And I just want to say this. I heard something today that made me cry for a moment because the person said, I used to set myself on fire so others can be warm. And that was jarring to me because how many people do that? They'll set themselves on fire so others can be comfortable. But that's because they are not aware. They're in a cloud. So think about that next time. Are you setting, I'm talking to everybody who's hearing this. Are you setting yourself on fire so other people can be warm? If so, you're not very self-aware, and work on it. That's not a negative. It's just something that you need to look at.
And I just want to add, and when it comes to self-awareness, triggers. Like, I know I've been more aware of what triggers me and telling people, hey, you triggering me. I probably said to you're triggering me.
Yeah, yeah.
You triggering me. And you know, that's not it just it's a boundary, you know, so they can be aware of what triggers you, you know, and it can save a relationship because some people think I go off the handle, but it's just triggering. Some stuff trigger me, and it's just like instead of going off the handle, I do self-reflection and say, just tell the person what's going on. Like, so hey, you're triggering me. Stop that. You know? So yeah, that comes with self-awareness. I'm learning, y'all. Thank you.
But remember what a boundary is, though. A boundary is for you and something that you'll accept. It's not something that that other person has to accept, right? So
Yeah, they
they
don't.
will continue to do those things, but it's what you're willing to accept in that moment and setting that boundary for yourself. Boundaries are for you, and you hope that the others will respect it, but it's how you navigate that situation.
Clock it.
And this is the thing though about a boundary. If I've told you that is a boundary for me and you refuse to accept that boundary, that means you have no respect for me.
Yeah.
And if
Correct.
you have no respect for me, I'm going to have to distance myself from you because what you're not going to do is be a grenade in my life again. I still got to clean up the last wreckage. So it's okay to distance yourself from people that are setting bombs off in your life all the time.
Correct.
Amen.
Correct.
Y'all said a mouthful. Definitely can relate. You hear me?
I thought
I
that's
don't
right.
know. Can I ask the question? Because
Go ahead.
I'm from the older set. I'm the older set, right? And so I'll keep it 100. I look good, but I'm still from the older set. So triggered. When I hear triggered, I think that you ladies are younger, right? And y'all are more aware of triggered. Some people from my generation, I am Generation X, right? We didn't think about being triggered. We just was figuring out how to survive it. So we didn't have time to process being triggered. We still had to get up in the morning. We still had to do what we had to do to make it happen, which could cause us to be to appear to be colder, right? Because Generation X sometimes we're perceived as a little colder, right? Because we're like, y'all ain't over it. What do you mean triggered? So unpack this triggered thing for me a little bit more. I know I understand it, but I think we shouldn't just leave that open because everybody may not understand.
What is a trigger?
Yeah. How do y'all define it? What is it?
Okay. One of mine. You want me to tell you what a trigger is? Or
No.
tell you?
So how do you get to a trigger? What happens? Was it because someone did something, and when someone else does it, it brings you back to that pain? How do you get a trigger?
Yeah, I think when it happens over and over again, and one of mine is when somebody tell me they're gonna do something, and then they don't. Like stuff happens, but communicate that when it happens, tell me that,
Mhm.
and that triggers me. You know,
Mhm.
so and then when it happens over and over again, it's like again I'm let down, and it's like it's like the person, I mean, it's not the person, it's like I let myself down because I actually thought we was gonna do it. I actually put faith in that person that we was gonna actually do it. And then again, and then it's just like I understand stuff happens, but communicate that. And that's my trigger. Like people lack communication. And maybe because like I said, I'm an overly communicative person. Like if I can't do something, if I'm not gonna be on time, I'm gonna tell you that in advance. You know, I may be in the midst of it, falling. I may have failed. In the midst of that, I'm texting. I fail. Give me 10 minutes so I can get back up, but I'm gonna be there. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like that's my trigger. Like, I guess when it happens repeatedly.
But I think that has to do with like being self-aware, right? So now it's just like trigger is like a key term that's used within like the new generation, but it's more so about being self-aware. Like when you feel disappointed, what is the story that you're telling yourself, and how do you rewrite that to make sure that you are responding correctly versus like being, oh, I'm disappointed, like you flaked again. Like instead of having that response, like you're having a response to be like, hey, you all right? Like I understand, like, we had to reschedule a couple times. How are you feeling? Is everything cool? Like, let me check on you versus saying it's only about me and my feelings in this moment. So it's like how we reframe that, but understanding that triggers just like a new key phrase versus like it has to do with self-awareness and like understanding what emotions you feel in certain scenarios. Right?
Okay.
Mhm. Mhm.
Do you agree? Disagree?
I totally agree. But I wanted to point it out because to me, trigger comes from something. It may not even be directly related to the person that's doing it at this moment, but it's a flashback. It's sort of like PSDT. For me, a trigger is a man yelling at me. I can take a woman yelling all day. It's irrelevant to me.
Mhm.
But if you want me to go from 0 to 100, let a man yell. And it's because in past relationships or even in childhood, th- I had males that yell at me and I didn't like it. Makes me feel small. So for me, you could be just raising your voice to try to make your point to me. But for me, I'm triggered, and now you're getting ready to get a different version of you before I learn it's not even about that person. They just loud. They just loud. They can't help themselves. But so I get what you're saying, Jessica and Rose. But I think a lot of people, my generation, we don't talk about our feelings a lot. So we don't even get a lot of them back here just be like trigger child.
And then people need to know your story and your past, who you come encounter with in relationships. They may not know your triggers because they don't know your history. They
Mhm.
don't know that you came from a broken home with loud parents that argue that every night. They don't know that your daddy promised to take you to the park and never did. They don't know. So they don't know those triggers.
When they do know, that's the bad part.
Yeah, when they do know, that's the bad part. And they just doing it. Like just to do it.
Yeah,
But
that's
are
the
they doing it just
manipulation
to
comes
do
in.
it? Are they doing it just to do it? Or are they doing it because they're so broken they can't do nothing better?
Yeah.
Hurt people hurt people.
Yeah.
And because I think that sometimes if you've never, that's why I like this. I like us talking. if you've never seen what friendship looks like, how do you know if you have a friendship? So if all you ever seen, I was in my 30s before I had more than one friend that was a good friend. And that's sad, right? I know. Because I thought that the only way someone would want me is based upon what I did for them. I came from, I got to be smart. I got to be buying them stuff. I got to be doing stuff, right? But that's why I love emotional intelligence, because it walked me out of that mindset. It did, and so I love that. I love that for me. I love that for others that's going through it. It's a great conversation.
Okay. So, did we cover triggers?
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. So now we're gonna go on to self-regulation. Did you have anything for self-regulation, Beyond?
We probably touched on this one, but how has poor emotional control affect your relationships in the past? That was one of my questions.
What can you say it again?
How has poor emotional control affected your relationships in the past?
Mm. Rose, you start this time.
So I won't talk about past relationships, but like earlier on in like me and Chris's relationship, like understanding like Lulu, you talked about this before, like, you come in the house and it's the big rah-rah and you're ready to snap at your your significant other. Understanding that I had to realize that one, I had to regulate my own emotions before entering a conversation when it was a difficult conversation, and identifying the highest leverage topics. Like sometimes we go in and you just want to and spew out everything that has nothing to do with the main topic of conflict, right? So identifying those things and being able to emotionally regulate. So like something that I found was very effective was talking to myself in the car while I'm driving, get everything out that I want to get out, but will not have all this time within the conversation, and being able to identify like those things. And breathing does work, deep breaths to ground yourself, because when you're yelling and your emotions are heightened, like you're not being effective communicators, and then you often rear off of like the main topic of conversation again, and just being about um being solutions oriented, right? Like what result do you want out of this conversation, and what action steps need to be taken between the two of you in order to be successful. So I think that's something that's been very, again, evolving, right? It's something that's not wasn't always easy, and definitely wasn't something that I knew from the very beginning of how to communicate and how to use those self-regulation tools, right? To make sure that I'm being an effective communicator in my relationship, and understanding like what do I want to result, like what results do I want from each scenario.
Question.
That's
So when
good.
you talk to yourself in the car, do you feel like it was satisfying? And then you went in the house and then said what you had to say to him. Do you felt like
Yeah,
that
because I mean,
was
at the end of the day,
regulating?
yeah, I think it was, because at the end of the day, what was he really gonna say to like satisfy that emotion in that time? Like there was no right or wrong answer. Like he couldn't have said anything to like change how I was feeling, right? It was done. So at that point, it's like I can't, like nothing can, like I can't change what happened, and regardless of whatever it may have been, or it like was at the highest leverage to like change how I was feeling and or the scenario. So I felt like if I got it out because I was mad about it, I was okay with it. And then in your head you scripting answers that they may or may not say, and you're responding. I
I like that.
I don't. I don't care. Y'all all talk to yourselves in the car.
Yes.
You
I
all
do it all
do,
the
right?
time.
So like
Something
that was
else.
something like going home or like going somewhere. I would literally be like spazzing out in the car, getting everything out. Anything I thought he could have said,
Yeah.
I had a response to. Okay. But was this the highest leverage? No. But did I need to get it out? Yes.
Yeah.
I like that because sometimes in an argument, I just want to say it, right? But it's not going to get me resolution. But I freaking need to say it. But if I say it to you or well to whoever I'm beefing with, if I come in and say you just always stupid, you never did it, that ain't gonna resolve nothing. But I just need to say it out loud. So I get that. I do it. I do it by walking. I go for a walk. And yes, if y'all ever
You
see
used to
me around
skip.
Virginia talking to myself,
Now you remember
I'm
when you
doing
used to
that.
skip?
Because what?
You remember when you used to skip?
Girl, because my nerves was bad. My nerves was bad. I used to skip. Yes, I did. And I'm perfectly sane. I'm perfectly sane. But yes, but see, I love that, Rose, because we need to tell people realness. Because yes, if I didn't skip, I was gonna strangle either the baby daddy or the baby. One of them was gonna have to die. And that would have been the best version of me. So I would just skip. I would, because you can't be unhappy and skip at the same time. You know, I be unhappy.
That's
and
why when
skip.
I just leave me alone. Like when I say leave me alone for a minute, please leave me alone.
Check. You see your mama skip.
Look, if I needed to skip to keep from violence,
I need
because
to
I also never hit no one.
Yeah, be on.
I never hurt no one because I could not be sad and skip at the same time. So I was skip around the house. And yes, I haven't skipped since I haven't skipped in a long time. But yes, I used to skip because I was a single mom. I was under pressure. I had a lot going on. And I didn't want, and Jessica may lie at this moment, but I didn't want to dump my negative stuff on Jessica. So yes, I was up and down the hall because I didn't want her to be the reason, because she wasn't the reason. My life was beating me up, but she wasn't the reason. But if I didn't skip, because skipping gets out the energy. So maybe it's not skipping. Maybe it's not talking in the car. Maybe you need to go to the gym and work out. Maybe you need to go for a run. But that energy has to go somewhere.
Me, I do God, sister. Am I wrong?
For what?
And if she ain't there, know what I call it? I be like, God, sister, am I wrong? And if she ain't there, I say, Caramel, am I wrong? So I talk to myself in the house all the time. Cause I know I ain't wrong.
And what does Caramel say? Does Caramel agree with you?
Caramel, no, I ain't wrong.
Okay,
I ain't
I
wrong.
have a question. Bianca, are you honest with Jessica in all moments?
Yes.
Or do you have to, like, is it worth me telling her this right now? Or are you honest in the moment?
Like, was it today or last night? I was like, Jessica, let me be honest with you. Remember we were I was like, go ahead.
Right.
I think that though you've got to have that sounding board, because now Jessica thinks that if you was to ask Jessica thinks I'm very hard because I say things it's clear cut to me. It's just black and white. But it's never that I tear her down, but it's like, Jessica, you wrong. It's two left shoes. What? That just really didn't make no sense. That made sense to you at that time. But I'm glad that she have Bianca. I'm glad that she has UP, because because I'm giving, and that's the things parents have to understand. I'm giving my perspective based upon my years of wisdom, but it may not be her experience, may not be hers. So whenever Jessica say, well, I'm going to do it this way, I know I'm going to shock parents across the world. I never get offended. It doesn't bother me. And when it goes to the left, and Jessica, correct me in this moment, if she makes a choice and it goes to the left, I'm not that parent to say, okay, you made that decision, figure it out. Now I may let her struggle for a little bit. I ain't gonna lie, I might let her struggle for a little bit. But if I can help, I help. But I also know how to stay in my lane, because how a person becomes strong is by them figuring out their own problems and resolving them in their own way. So
That's good. That's good.
I don't believe you brought my skipping up, but okay, we'll talk about this on the side note.
We keep it real and uncut. We on the original. Somebody may skip. This may help somebody. We can help somebody. We gonna tell it.
Yeah,
You know?
so like you said, going to the gym, it's like it was getting your endorphins up, so it would change your mood. So again, being able to self-regulate and understand and recognize how you were feeling.
That's good. And I didn't even, but you know what? It's crazy. I didn't even know. I was so unaware. All I knew is I needed to do something physical to take me out of my head space. And I couldn't be sad and skip at the same time. I couldn't. Try it. I dare y'all. Go and start. If you're mad, just start skipping. You can't be mad and skip.
Hey, why would she skip? I used to be like, Mom, why did you skip it? Just skip it. Skip it down the hallway. Just skip it. Okay. I'm just like, it's good. I don't know if it was a gallop or skip. Okay. Next question. What does empathy look like in y'all's everyday relationships? Let's talk about friendships, relationships. What does it look like for y'all?
Putting yourself in their shoes.
Yeah, that's what I try to do.
Active listening.
I like that one. And tell them what active listening means, because some people don't know.
Like, don't just listen just to because you're ready to respond. Like, actually listen and take it in.
Mm-hmm. No, that's a big thing, because a lot of times, like, people will cut you off and make it about them.
Mm-hmm.
In the moment, you just need someone to listen and to actually, they don't want a solution. They want to be able to vent. They want to be able to get it out. And then once they get it out, they'll be able to figure out what they need in that moment. But sometimes, like, you just have to be an active listener, like you said, and listen intentionally so that you can be there to support them. Like, don't forget, you did say this as well. Right? So, like, how do you address those things?
I like that, Rose. I like what all of y'all said. Empathy for me is okay. This is gonna make me sound different. Empathy and sympathy are different for me, and how I handle it is different, because one of the reasons that it's hard to empathize is you say put yourself in that person's shoes, but sometimes it's hard for you to put yourself in their shoes because what they did you wouldn't have never thought to do.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very hard for me to put myself in their shoes, but what I can do is say, I'm here to listen. I'm here to understand your point of view, and I will support you. I'm here to be your friend and support you. And because for me, everyone always say is putting yourself in the other person. But sometimes, well, maybe y'all don't ever have no crazy stuff, but I've had people tell me some crazy stuff, and I have a hard time trying to put myself in their shoes, right? So what I do is I do what y'all say. I become an active listener. I'm listening to understand. I'm listening to understand because you got a different view. And that's another thing I want to bring out. Everybody wasn't raised in the same type of home. Everyone didn't have the same type of experience. So you can't expect everyone to respond to things the way that you respond to things because people are different. And I think that that's the hardest part of empathy is understanding everyone is not the same.
And a
I
big
have
part of empathy is also like not comparing, right? So
Mhm.
like that's a big part of empathy that I think again is evolving with when you how you respond because you often will compare yourself to that person what you would have done in that scenario, but that's not showing true empathy.
That's a good point.
She's a bad man down. She's a bad man down.